Super Retro Force.
What is up, YouTube? Well, it's been kind of a crazy year for retro game collecting. And last year or so, we did a video talking about how retro game collecting sucks now, blah blah blah, scumbag resellers, scalpers, and the whole in between. So we're just kind of going on what is an update now on that. And in all honesty, not much has changed, guys. What once was a flourish area of game buying abilities is now a barren wasteland of fillers, expensive items, and crap.
Oh.
Now that's not to say that, the good deal out there is not still on the horizon, that your holy grail is $2 at your local neighbor grandma's house thing. But in all actuality, with the age of technology, the access, like I said, to the internet, eBay, and the whole shebang, retro game collecting somewhat sucks nowadays because it's not as cheap as it once was. Unless, of course, you are collecting consoles like PS4, Xbox One, and stuff like that, then you're golden, guys. Those games right now are pretty dirt cheap. I personally go after a few of those every once in a while whenever I see them. But yeah, guys, let's talk about one in general. I mean, GameCube and stuff like that is it's still insane. Now, I know we talk about, obviously, consoles progress through time as kids get older, get more free money, adult money, we should say, or fun money. They want to relive those glory years of nostalgia times and go back to what console was probably the most popular for them at that time when they were a kid. So a lot of times, the kids that are now going into adulthood probably grew up playing GameCube, Wii, and stuff like that now. So they're really investing into this because they want to relive what they once loved. But unfortunately, we have resellers, we have scalpers, we have all these people that are swooping in, grabbing these games, knowing that people are going to want to pay to play them because they want to, recapture that glory, and then they're upcharging them. Now, this is not to say that every reseller out there is a scumbag. I can't honestly say that because at one point I was reselling to help fund my collection, so I in turn would be a hypocrite calling myself a reseller. But there is some out there that we know who they are. They are the people that are undercutting people, practically stealing stuff for so cheap, and then, in fact, turning around and bragging how much they paid for it. I'm all about humility and gratitude and stuff like that, but when it comes to sometimes bragging that you basically robbed someone, not at gunpoint, granted, but at a cheap whatever cost, then it's just kind of, to me, that's the scumbag parties. Now, this is, when I do these videos, this is what I sometimes get nervous about, is these might anger some people and stuff. And once again, people, this is just all opinions. I'm not pinpointing anybody exactly. What am I, bedazzling myself? I am just kind of talking about what is kind of in tune with me right now. And people have been asking about this retro collecting and whether they should get into it. Now, I've had a few commenters saying, that they just started now collecting, and should they give up now because it's too expensive? And in all honesty, guys, retro collecting is affordable if you know what to look for. Now, don't make the mistakes that I made when I first started collecting, like 8-9 years ago. I just started buying everything in sight. I started off originally with just Nintendo games. I was just going to collect Nintendo games. Well, then I started getting other consoles, Super Nintendos, Nintendo 64, everything like that, and I just started collecting all those. And then once I got those consoles, I was like, well, hey, now I could buy these games. I have the consoles for them. And this gives me the leeway, gives me the go-ahead that now I can personally buy whatever I want because I have the console for it. And at one point, that's how I justified a lot of my collecting was, I'm going to play it someday. I had the console for it. Why not buy it? And if you watched any of my past videos, we've gone over how ridiculous this really was. How I had amassed a large collection of garbage, filler titles that I did not, in fact, enjoy. And in the end, ended up getting rid of a ton of them because it was not worth it to me anymore. And I held on to all the games I actually loved. But we talked earlier about how the age of technology has kind of ruined a lot of the retro collecting too. So not only do we have the experts out there on retro games that are knowing that, hey, if this, someone commented before, this Excitebike has 5 screws on it, it's worth way more than the other one. I think another one I've noticed is kind of trending was, I think it's Gotcha on the Nintendo. If it has 5 screws, it's worth hundreds of dollars, whereas the one with the 3 screws or whatever is just worth a couple bucks. So not only do we have those experts out there that are hunting, we have the people that almost do this as a full-time job or a part-time hustle position. So you have those people that are scouring the newspapers, if they even read them anymore. I don't even know if I've read a newspaper in a while. But they're on Facebook. They're scouring the marketplace. They're looking for upcoming garage sales. They're seeing exactly what time they start, messaging people prior, trying to pick if anything is available to begin with. And the reason I know some of this stuff is because, yes, I have personally done it in the past. When I was in my midst of hunting all the time and going over Facebook and everything like that, there was times where I'd see an upcoming garage sale, examine some of the pictures, and even message the person and be like, hey, do you have any old video games that you'd like to sell beforehand? Well, if you'd like to sell, and then I'd ask if I could actually go there before it opens and check the stuff out. So, yeah, that's kind of a scummy thing to do, but also, I mean, you almost have to level out the playground at one time too, because like I said, you have people that do this for a job. You have people that are experts on this that are actually funding their collections. And on top of that, you also have the average Joe who is personally just going to these garage sales, going to these thrift stores with their phone in hand, scanning UPCs, seeing how much these items are currently selling for on the market, and then if it's a good enough profit, they will personally buy those just to sell them. And I honestly didn't believe that people in my area, Northwest Iowa, did this until I seen a guy actually in Goodwill doing this. So I had stumbled upon a VCR. And I'd actually been looking for a VCR because at one point I wanted to do a CRT setup with a VCR and just have like a nostalgia corner for VHS tapes and stuff like that. So I was looking at this VCR and I ended up just kind of deciding to pass on it because what was the point of buying a VCR right now if I didn't even have a TV to hook it up to? And this guy literally came up, phone in hand, looked this thing up and down, started looking for serial numbers, inputting it in there, and then I could tell that he was just searching the web to see how much this thing was going for. Because I think at the time it was only selling for $5 at Goodwill, which has become very unnormal for a lot of these thrift stores in my area because they too are using the internet to price gouge a lot of this stuff. So they had the average Joes that are able to just scan UPCs, take image. I mean, I don't know if you guys have seen this nowadays, but sometimes you can actually just take a picture of something and your AI will automatically find it for sale and give you an idea how much it costs or where to buy it at. So the average Joes are hunting this stuff down, and it's almost, I mean, some will not say this. I don't get me wrong. I have a bunch of friends that do this. They're not necessarily resellers themselves, or they're resellers, but they're also hunters for their own collections and stuff like this. And they say that it's not based on luck, it's really based on drive. You got to really want it, and you got to really work your ass off for it. So I mean, and they're not wrong. I mean, you have to sometimes not have a life. Sit on Marketplace, sit on all those other apps that you can use for searching out items and stuff like that, and refreshing every few minutes just to make sure, if anything new's been posted up, that you're first in line for it. And just sometimes even stumbling upon a thrift store that is lost in the sands of time and does not know how to price accordingly. Just to reiterate on this too is I stopped shopping at a local thrift store because they were getting the items for free and turning around and selling them for more than eBay prices. And when I asked about this, they said all of our workers are volunteers. If you'd like to help with pricing, why don't you volunteer as well? So on top of getting the items for free, most of the workers working for free, and then on end charging a lot more for pricing, I lost all respect in this business whatsoever. And after so long, I wasn't even finding anything good there anymore. We got the average Joes, we got the experts, we got the side hustlers, we got the full-time pickers, and we just have the sellers, guys. They know what their stuff's worth almost nowadays. It's easy to look it up, and whether or not that they are tech savvy enough to know whether it is a good price or not is kind of what you run into as well. I mean, you can look up something on eBay and see what people are asking for it, but if you don't know how to actually see what it's sold for recently, you'll run into that mistake. So why do I think retro game collecting sucks nowadays? It's just harder to find. I think even stuff like websites that I used to use, like Mercari, they have so much damn fees and stuff now that it's really just hard to be able to sit down and buy something, because after you pay for the shipping and after you pay for taxes and fees, you're paying more than market value for it. So you almost have to really want this game to get it. So I think the last game that I actually paid overpriced for was Dark Souls 3, because I had been really having a hankering to play it because I had been playing through Elden Ring and playing some other Souls games. So I was like, I really wanted to play Dark Souls 3. So I was willing to pay the extra amount for it. But just for hunting in general, I would not even recommend Mercari really as much nowadays. And then going on to the last aspect of it, I kind of hinted at it earlier, luck. Yes, there's luck out there. Finding a coworker that wants to get rid of a bunch of games and they're almost practically willing to give it to you. That Wii U I have behind me, over here. I had a coworker that was going through a bunch of his stuff. He knew I collected games. He knew I played games, and he said, "Hey, I got this Wii U and some games. Do you want it?" And I asked him, "How much do you want for it?" He said, "Nothing. I just want it. You can just have it because it's going in the trash." I ended up paying him. I think it was a Wii U plus I think it was a small stack of games. I gave him $150 for it about 2 years ago now, because I was like, I wasn't comfortable just receiving that much of free stuff, especially with the price it was going for. And he was happy with the $150. I was happy giving him the $150. And yeah, I was like, here, just take the money, because I can't just take this from you, because I know that it's actually pretty valuable. So, I mean, that's sometimes the luck of the draw, too, or where you'll find is a lot of times in the past, that's how I got a lot of my good stuff, was either acquaintances or friends, or friends of friends and stuff like that. But yes, I'm sure in the bigger cities, because I've seen them. I live in small town Iowa. We don't have jack crap here. But the bigger cities, I see all the time on Facebook some pretty good deals popping up. So I'd have to be ignorant to say that there's no good deals out there, that you can't find any good stuff, because they're out there. I know they are, because I've seen them too. And like I said, I've watched the Pick and Preacher and a few other guys where they are literally finding these amazing deals all the time and able to record it and prove that they are. So to say the fact that, there's no good deals out there anymore is just me being lazy. Personally, where you got guys like those guys that are working their ass off to not only bring you guys content, but to also help support their family, help support their collection. And to me, it almost seems like they're having fun in the process. So that's really all that matters. So to summarize and end this, does retro gaming collecting suck nowadays? It depends on who you are. It's like with any opinion. Do I personally do it as much? No. But I've lost my drive. I've lost my motivation for it. I really just go after the games and stuff that I love now or feel connected with. And I don't base my collection on quantity. It's all about quality now. So I want you guys to comment below What do you guys think about the retro collecting scene nowadays? Now, I know I'm going to have those people that are probably won't even watch the whole movie. They'll just be near the end and they'll just be like, you don't know what you're talking about. I find stuff all the time. You're an idiot. And all I got to say to you is God bless and have a great day if that's what kind of toxic nature you want to bring to the channel. Because it doesn't bother me. Because guess what? You watched the video. You left a comment. You boosted me on the algorithm. But to the people that want to have general and actual conversations, please comment below. As always, I try to reply to... I shouldn't say I try to reply. I reply to every comment that pops up. I might miss a reply here or there, but I try my hardest to make sure that your comment does get at least a response. So, with that being said, as always, stay retro, my friends. I hope you enjoyed this video, and yeah, have a great day, guys. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you in the next video.